que la verdad yo disfruté muchísimo. Es una entrevista que disfruté muchísimo porque, permítame, porque me encanta, la verdad, poder conocer cosas nuevas. Yo todos los días estoy tratando de conocer cosas nuevas, de aprender. Creo que este deporte lo que más me ha dejado es mucha hambre, muchas ganas de saber más, porque entre más sé, más quiero saber. Entre más años estoy con los caballos, me doy cuenta que todavía puedo aprender más, lo cual es maravilloso, porque nunca te aburres, ¿no? Siempre tenemos algo nuevo que aprender, siempre tenemos algo nuevo que diseñar, que aplicar con nuestros caballos, que investigar, que disfrutar. La verdad, es un deporte bellísimo que no termina nunca de gozarse. Y tuve la oportunidad de conocer a Joyce Abraas, una gran mujer, sin duda alguna también totalmente apasionada, como todos los que estamos aquí el día de hoy, apasionado de los caballos, jinete, y que se ha venido especializando y formalizando su conocimiento y sus servicios para ayudar a los jinetes y entrenadores con los bocados, con los filetes de los caballos. ¿Qué son esto? Bueno, pues lo que va dentro de la boca, sin duda alguna. Siempre he dicho y insistido, por favor, tenemos que entender que el bocado y las riendas no son un volante, no son un freno de manos. Por favor, tenemos que entender eso muy bien. Sin embargo, lo que sí es el filete y las riendas y la cabezada del caballo es una gran manera de comunicarnos con el caballo. ¿Le decimos cosas a través de la boca? Sí, pero son muchas menos las que le decimos que la que el caballo nos comunica a nosotros, ¿sí? Es muchísimo lo que el caballo nos dice a nosotros a través del contacto. Muy importante esto. A ver, chicos, perdón, pero sí voy a hacer aquí un paréntesis. ¿Qué es el contacto? Es la conexión que comienza a través de la energía que producimos con los pies del caballo, el motor del caballo, a través de todo su cuerpo, que llega a la boca, a través de las riendas, del bocado de las riendas a nuestro cuerpo, ¿sí? Ese es el contacto y es muy importante que lo sepan todos el día de hoy en esta plática, porque sin duda alguna se va a comentar mucho aquí. Por eso es muy importante que lo podamos estar teniendo claro para que cada vez que esta chica hable de contacto, ustedes sepan de qué estamos hablando, porque es muy importante saber que a través de ese contacto el caballo nos habla de rigidez, nos habla de balance, de equilibrio, de muchas cosas que ellos van sintiendo durante nuestros entrenamientos, ¿sale? Entonces, por eso es muy importante tener ese concepto muy, muy claro en esta plática, ¿sale? Y que por favor hagan todas las preguntas que tengan, sin duda alguna, pero también escuchen lo que ella tiene que compartirnos, porque me parece por demás interesante lograr la comunicación de la manera más adecuada con estos aparatos que nosotros usamos, el bocado, la cabezada, las riendas, ¿sale? Y quiero decirles que ella se dedica totalmente a estudiar la anatomía, la biomecánica del caballo, el movimiento del caballo, de cada caballo, para ver cómo se está comunicando con el jinete y qué necesita ese caballo para lograrlo de la mejor manera y sin duda estar bien, y como aquí dicen, que nunca sea doloroso para el caballo, porque nada tiene que ver, ¿sí? Nada tiene que ver, y sin duda hay cosas que se ponen en las bocas de los caballos que son terribles. Vale, entonces, sin más preámbulo, ahora sí, quiero invitarlos a conocer a esta chica que da este servicio que yo no sabía que existía, y con toda humildad lo digo aquí frente a las cámaras, frente a todos ustedes, porque creo que lo más valioso siempre es tener apertura para aprender. Agradezco a Joyce sin duda alguna por estar aquí con nosotros el día de hoy. Y por favor, ¿están listos? ¿Sí? Vamos a dar comienzo con esta gran entrevista para todos ustedes. Joyce, thank you very much for being here. How are
Thank you for inviting me. Hi. Hi. So thank you very much for coming because I'm very happy because in Mexico I haven't heard about things that you are doing now. So
Yeah,
please tell me, how did this all begin?
I think the bit and bridle fitting is something that we have in Holland now from, I think, 2012, 2010 it started. And I'm doing it now. The first time I was introduced to it, it was in 2015 because I had a horse with a little bit of connection problem, a little bit of a tongue problem. And that was the first time that I had let specialists look at my horse. And it was such a difference. It made such a change in the riding and the feeling in my hand that I thought, okay, we have to do something with it. And there were not a lot of specialists in Holland. So, and I live really in the south of the Netherlands. And the only specialists that there were, they were more in the Rotterdam. So it's like 200 kilometers of my place. And so I started education in 2018 to help the riders in my area that also have the connection problems, but not only the connection problems. I don't know if you have that in Mexico, but in Holland we have horses that are like big horses that maybe need a full in headpiece, but have a really small nose. So it would be better for have a nose band in as a cup size. Yeah, and there were no brands that would provide a few sizes. So what we do, we bought 2 or 3 bridles and then put it together to one bridle. Yeah, so that was also something that we were a little bit struggling with. So for me, there were a lot of things that I thought, oh, we can do this better. Yeah. So that's why I started doing different kind of educations to help riders and horses with the same problem that I had.
Yeah, I understand perfect because that kind of things that you said, we tried this and then we put from the other bridle and we tried different things. I mean, I had my coach had a big box full of beads, and it was amazing because you can go there and dive in there and say, I'm going to try this one, I'm going to try this. But that's a big investment. So something that is not easy to be doing. Every time I have a new client, I said, I'm sorry, we have to try this because he's the only one trying, So I understand perfect. So, and where did you study about this?
We have a few educations in Holland. So you can do 2 to 3 kinds of educations in Holland. And beside that, I did also a course with somebody that does the biomechanics of the horse, because it's not just changing a bit, but the thing is your eyes need to see how does the real connection is, because a lot of people don't know what the real connection with the mouth is and how it's from behind to the hand. And that was for me, I worked with the osteopath, the physio, the vet, to see, okay, how does a horse really have to move, or how do they move without a rider? And to understand that, then you also know, okay, if I change the bit, does he have the right connection or does he have the wrong connection? And that's the most important thing to learn when you want to do this.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you are also a rider. You are a dressage rider?
Yeah. I started when I was 10 years old. I have my first pony and I did really good in the pony time. I was a lot of times a national champion. And also in the beginning of the horses, went really good. But now I have my own company and a son of 2 years old. I have 2 really great horses, but I don't have the time. So,
wow.
So I hopefully in like a half year I can start doing competitions again. But sometimes you have to choose. That was with the corona, we didn't have any competition, and then you get pregnant, and then so hopefully when the little boy is a little bit older, I have a little bit more time to do my training and competitions. But I was and I like a perfectionist. I did my job, but also in my riding. If I go in competition, it has to do good. And I can't go if I just have training 2 times a week. So that's a little bit how I am.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
choose sometime.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry because you should ride many times a day to be healthy,
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. Yes.
But so tell me, what do you do? What is it? What is this about the bit fitting?
Yeah. Yeah, the bit fitting is at the moment in Holland is like as normal as you let come a saddle fitter. So for us in Holland and also Belgium and a little bit of Germany, it's normal to if you have a new horse that a bit fitter is coming to check the bits and the bridle and everything. But a few years ago, mostly why clients called us was because there were mouth problems. Like the tongue was sticking out on the side, or they pulling up the tongue, or they had injuries in the mouth. That's also a problem. Or they behind the pole, so the nose is not coming out, and they have no connection in the front, and that's why they have to. Yeah, they want to let go a bit fitter because they are more like an expert. And that's what you say. Not everybody has tons of bits. But it's also a little bit, it's not easy. And I think it's not easy. Maybe you find a little bit easier. If I ride today with a bit and I change it tomorrow, then you don't know really for sure, okay, what was the feeling yesterday? And what we do, we change everything. You try one bit and then a few minutes later, we try the next one. So you really can feel the difference in one ride instead of doing it one change at a day. Then you don't know for exactly, okay, what is the feeling that was better. So that's why people let us come to make sure that the bridle and the bit are what the horse needs. Yeah. And then because
we have a lot of bits, right?
Yeah, we have a few brands, but what you see is there are a few type of bits that the most of the horses like. So it's not that we have a really big assortment, but we have a few brands with really nice bits, and they also have a lot of different mouthpieces. So one a little bit smaller, one a little bit bigger on the tongue. They're like a little bit rounder, so they have a lot of different shapes. And that is what you that is what you try. Okay, like he wants to have a little bit more round, or do he wants to have a little bit more pressure on the tongue, or a little bit less pressure on the tongue? And that's a little bit the puzzle that we try to solve. That's how it works. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I think is every horse is different, and it's not only physical. They can feel comfortable with something you didn't think it was gonna work, right? It's like sometimes you think it's gonna work in a different way, but I mean they have different kind of the mouth, the shape, the size. There are a lot of things. So what do you look for in a bit? First of all, for example, if you have only with one articulation, I think they are harder. With two, they are softer, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, the thing is that sometimes people call me and they have, I have this problem. What do you think the horses need? Yeah, it's like the same when I put on shoes. If I put on Nikes, maybe I like it. But if you have the same shoe size and you put also the same Nikes on and you don't like it because your foot has a little bit in different shape. So what we always do, we assess it when horses are in movement, so when the rider is on it, and then we change, and then we can analyze, okay, what size and also what kind of shape does the horse like. Yeah, there are some sizes and shapes that we sell a lot, so I can say, okay, like some 40% like that and 40% like that, but it's not possible for me. I'm not that good to just look in the mouth and say, okay, that is what it needs. No, that would be really easy, but it isn't. And that's also the same with head pieces. A lot of people, there was a trend that everything has to be like round shape over the ears. I can tell you my own horses, but also a lot of horses that I did the bit fitting with, just like the straight headpiece. If I put something with a shape on, they're going to start pulling their noses to the left or shaking their heads. So yeah, it's always different. It's really different. That's also why when we are bit fitting or like bit and bridle fitting, we start with the bits, and then we change a few bits and we see how the horses change and what the feeling is getting, how the rider gets the feeling. And then we start with the head pieces. We have a lot of there are a lot of designs in the market. And then you try different kinds of shapes. And then you also have the same with the nosebands. There's also the shape of the noseband, also the width of the noseband. Some horses like it bigger, some like it smaller. It's like the pressure that they want, that they like, or they want a lot of pressure, or they want less pressure. So it's all different. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I have a very sensitive mare, and I bought something from here, more comfortable, softer. I put it on the bridle, and she got crazy. She was really, really mad. I was over her like 2 minutes, and I went down and I said, I'm sorry. I took it out, and with the rein, I came back to the stable, because I said, I'm so sorry. So I understand that you think that it's going to be better for them.
Yeah.
They don't like it somehow. No, we maybe won't understand, but it's like that. So what I'm understanding now is the combination, that the combination is the important thing. I mean, it's not only the bit, it's the bridle, no? It's everything together. No, the nose bands, everything together. The combination is what is going to work with each horse.
Yeah. And that's why we try every detail apart in a fitting. So at the end, you get the most comfortable a product that the horse wants, and also you as a rider get a softer feeling. Sometimes with a bit or a bridle, you have more connection on your left rein or more connection on your right rein, and we try to make it even, and also even in the connection and even in the body. But you also see horses more moving through the body if they like the pressure on the front, because it's normal for us to a saddle fitter that the saddle fits right for the horse's back. But the same as the horse's head and mouth is also individual. It's not all the horses have the same head and the same mouth. So it's like a little bit the same as what a saddle fitter do. The only thing is we don't have to come 2 times a year to check if the stuffing is it's good. No, when you have the snaffle, you can do it yourself. The only thing with a double bridle, we check in a few weeks because leather stretch a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's very interesting. So, and do you think it's the same thing, the same analysis you have to do with horses of any kind of sport? I mean, it's not only for dressage; it's the same thing for jumping, for reining, for.
My biggest percentages in clients are dressage riders, because the connection is where we get the points, so it's really important. But I also do sometimes jumping riders, because if they have the bit or a good bridle, they tell me that they can make a better turn to the left or the right, and that could be a second quicker than your concurrent. So that's also true.
Yeah, I think we are looking for more functional, no? So everything is more functional, but also I think this is about the horse welfare, because we need the horse to be happy. We need the horse to not to be hurt or satisfied. And I don't know, we have to think about that too, right?
Yeah. Also, you see how many pictures are there on the internet with a blue tongue or the open mouth, and you get that's not nice. It's also sometimes it could be like 1 second and it's a bad picture, but that's what we now have in the horses industry. We're like everybody looks at us if everything is good for the horse. And what we do with the bit fitting is that we try to make it as comfortable that they also like it. It's like, that's what we want. And also when the bit and the bridle is good, the biomechanics of the horse moves much better, so they also get less injury. If they don't like it and they're a little bit stiff in the neck or stiff in the mouth, you get problems in the whole body. That's always, because if you make a problem or something stiff on the front, you also feel it in the back. And that's what we want. We want to make it much better, so a horse moves nicer and you have less injuries.
I have seen a lot of horses that the rider goes and buys something for them, but it's a normal one. The one they saw, I mean, it's not with a special purpose, you know, and then everything is in a wrong fitting. I mean, the noseband is open or too tight or too soft, and everything is moving, or up here everything is against the ears, for example. Or the beat is short. I mean, there are a lot of things. There were this girl that was telling me, I don't want to tighten the noseband because I don't want to hurt my horse. And I said, of course, I don't want to hurt the horse, of course, but it has to be in one position. I mean, I hate that. I remember when my mother put on me the twisted socks, you know? I hate that. So I don't like when everything is moving, you know? So I think it's the same thing with horses. So something is that we don't want to hurt them, of course, but at the same time, we want them to be comfortable. So we really need to learn what is the best for them.
Yeah. Also, when the noseband is too loosened, the jaw gets also too much movement. It's just to stabilize the jaw. That's why we have the noseband. Otherwise, it goes open and everything. And I understand that you have to need soft hands, but everything has to make not too much movement. It's like same with your saddle. If your saddle goes all over the place, it's not nice for the back of the horse. And that's the same with the bridle. Don't have to go too loose, but also don't have to stitch or make something not nice for the horse. So that's really important.
Sure. But also I think the third thing we have to talk is about the training, because I mean is you can have everything fit, the saddle, the bit, the bridle, but if you're not riding well, this is not going to work. So we need it too. And what do you think about that?
Sometimes I have clients, I think they hope when I come they can ride Grand Prix. If it was that easy,
it's my
I think I'm not working anymore. No. So I always also, when I'm with a client, I don't judge, because I'm not the trainer. I think it's important to work together with the trainer. And I also don't mind if a trainer comes and watch. So I can help and educate them how I look and what I see. But if I have riders, I always help them a little bit, because I also did, I ride myself, and I did a few classes to learn more about the seating of the rider, how they have to sit, how they have to move, how they have to breathe. So if I see something like that, then I help them a little bit to make it better. Also how to put your hands or soften the hands. That makes also a difference in the connection with the horse. So yes, of course, if you have a good bit and a good bridle and good saddle and everything, that makes it not easier, but you still at the end have to ride.
Yeah, sure. I think sometimes people tell me, I don't want to feel a heavy contact. I want it soft. How should I buy? And I say, stop pulling. You know, I mean, there are so many things that we have to think about, that this is not easy. No, I mean, like you, I'm not judging, but I'm trying to open their minds to say, you have to learn about everything. It's not only one thing.
No. And sometimes it's also, if somebody comes from that not is your trainer that stands by every week, you say maybe something a little bit different. And the people like, oh, because a few weeks ago, I had a client for the saddles, and she was with her upper body really tightened, and she had a little bit of problems in the half passes and also in the pirouettes. And I was like, loosen up, loosen your leg. You want to go to the right, loosen your right leg. And it was just the same thing that her trainer says, but I said it a little bit different. And she was like, oh, okay, why that nobody told me this anymore? And her mother was like, they do, but they say it a little bit different. And that's also possible, that you say, maybe you mean the same message, but you just use a little bit different words. And I'm like, oh yeah, this was nicer. Yeah.
That's why it's good to have clinics, to invite different trainers, because they can say the same thing, but in a different way, in a different language, and you get it in that moment, right?
Yeah.
So something that people ask me a lot is about the wrinkles here, because there's a theory you must have 2 wrinkles to have in a good position. What do you think about that?
No, what I always do, I stand for the horse and then I pull the cheek pieces a little bit from the side to see how much space there is. As I don't watch the mouthpiece, I just feel this, but I also try. So what I do is I feel, and if it's like 2 centimeters from the head, then it should be like they say in the books, and then I let the rider ride. And if I see something in a connection, because I know how a horse has to walk or trot. So if I see something that I don't like, I'm gonna change something. And with all the years of experience, it's like, okay, it would be like in that part or in that part. So is that something the feeling that you get in all the years that you're doing the work. But then I could put in a little bit lower, a little bit higher. There is not a standard rule, because I have horses that like it a little bit lower, and I have horses that I had a little bit higher. Yesterday there was a client at my place, because she has the Dutch championships next week. I do her saddles and her bridles and bits, and she always comes for a big competition to make a check for everything. She's a U25 Grand Prix rider, and we were like feeling, because I got her a new bridle, so we wanted to check if the leather was not stretched a little bit. And I was putting my finger in it, and I was feeling, I thought, this has to be how it should be. And he was trotting away, and I was like, the neck is a little bit tight, and this is not how I want it to be. So I said, come back, and I put the double a little bit lower, one hole. And if you look at it, you would say, no, it has to be one higher, but the horse didn't want it. She trotted away. She was like, oh, now he's nice again in the mouth. Now he's nice again in the connection. So to say it has to be like this and he has to be like that, it's not that simple. Yeah, we start at one point, how they say it in the books, and then we see what a horse wants. Yeah.
So at the end, you have to try and analyze the results. Every time. It's like always with the horse, because they don't speak. So they cannot say this feels comfortable, this one I don't like, but they can show us how they feel.
Yes.
And you have to be watching to that.
Yeah. They speak, but we just have to listen. And I think that's a little bit the problem with a lot of people, that they don't listen.
Yeah, they speak with actions. They speak with their body language, right?
Yeah, they do.
What about the broad band? Because I don't like when it's like this, tighten against the head, sometimes it's too small. Also, I don't like the ones that are moving, but is there any rule?
No, there is no rule, but there's one shape that somebody makes brow bands for me that I use for clients, and she makes a shape that doesn't get any pressure on the cheek muscles that are of the chewing muscles that the horse has on the head. And if you have it too tighten, then it pulls the headpiece to the front. So you get a little bit of also movement here, and you don't want that. So it has to open a little bit, so there's no pressure here, but it doesn't have to go up and down. But I think it goes up and down when there are maybe too heavy stones on it or something like that, because the problems that we have, they don't move. But I think it's more annoying when it's too small. Yeah, I don't like it when it's too small. That gets pressure on places that you don't want to have any pressure on.
What do you think about putting something soft here? Is the same? You should try, or you better don't?
Yeah, I ride without, because the horses I ride don't like it, but there are horses that like it. So that's the same with the bridle and the bits. Yeah, just try it out. It's like what you try on a girth, or you want like a lamb skin on the girth. It's something you have to try. It's not always that a horse like it. So if you're riding, you think, oh, maybe I need it. Just start without riding it, and then put it under the noseband, and then ride again, and then you feel if your connection is getting better or getting worse. It's really every detail. Just try it. That's the main thing that I can say about it. Yeah.
So it's again the same thing, no? You have to try, you have to think on training, on designs, on beats, on saddles, on bridles, on the weather. I mean.
Yeah, what we always do when we're coming at a client, we make an assessment of the whole horse's body condition. So we feel all the muscles. We do like a little bit of test if they bend to the left and to the right. And then we check in the mouth and the teeth, and like if there's pressure on the muscles, just to feel if something is off. Because if there's something off, you can put it in the back of your mind when you're fitting. Okay, it's not only the bit problem, but there's also a little bit in the body. And then you can give the horse owner the advice like, okay, this is also important to check up, because it's not only in the mouth the problem, but it's something maybe in the body. Or when I first started bit fitting, I wasn't a saddle fitter, but I had an education in saddle fitting just to feel how a saddle has to lay on the body of the horse, because a lot of mouth problems and connection problems are coming from the saddle. So if a client calls me and they say, yeah, the mouth is going open and I feel the saddle and something is off in the saddle, I know that I'm not the only one that can fix the problem. So I check also the saddle just to let the owner know for, oh, maybe it's better to call your saddle fitter, because I feel this, and this can also be why you have that problem.
There's no bit that is gonna fit if you have a teeth problem.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we have to check about that. And also it's the same thing with the back problems, with pain, no? Because if the horse is not comfortable, nothing is gonna work, right?
No.
This is very interesting because, again, we have to check everything. And of course, it's very difficult to be a specialist in everything. So I hope sooner we have people like you working here to help us with these kind of things. So, and Joyce, tell me about something. There's a big discussion about bitless, you know? Now everybody's talking about this. I mean, I'm riding my mare, my horse some days because I want them to rest. I want them to go hiking and eat grass with me and everything. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, the thing is, you have pressure points. And I'm going to be really careful what I'm saying with this problem. But if you have only the bitless, then you have pressure on the nose and behind the ears. So the reduce of the pressure is more with if you also have a bit inside, because then there are more places to get the pressure on. I always say, if we don't want any pressure on the horse, then we have to put him in a field without something around it, because also the thing that around the fields are also pressure. So we want to ride with our horses, we need equipment. My only message is to make sure that the equipment that we use fits the horse. And for sure, if he has mouth problems, don't put a bit in it. If he has an injury, give the horse time to rest and recover. So that's also what I think is most important. Don't push the limits too far. They're also, I know they're animals, but they're also athletes. They get injuries, but we have to give them time and rest to recover from it.
Yeah, I have seen some of these that really, really make a lot of pressure with this. How do you call this big? I don't know.
The pelham, I think.
That when you pull a little bit the reins, they make a lot of pressure here. You know.
Okay.
So, now people are saying it's better that way, but watch out. What is going on over the nose? And
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about behind the ears. Thank you. Now I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about it. Also. But I think, yeah. What I always say when someone asks me about this is about learning the good writing. You know, I mean, if you're like this, it's always gonna be hurting. You know.
Yeah.
If you learn how to ride, not I mean, the reins are not a wheel, you know. It's not and also it's not a brake, you know. So if you really learn to ride the horse with your body communication, no, it's
Yeah.
going to be much better for the horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always looking for the soft, the softer, you know, the softer beats,
Yeah.
because I want them to be happy. But also here in Mexico, we have a lot of big beats, you know, like very strange things that I don't understand. And people say about that if they use it soft, it's gonna be okay. No, I said that anyway. You put it on the mouth and it hurts, you know.
Yeah.
You have to take the reins to put your horse in pain. But there are so many things that I think that if you use them in a good way, you're gonna have a good communication with the horse, and it's not gonna be on pain.
No, and in Holland and also with the FEI in the dressage, you don't have a lot of options. There are not a lot of bits you can use, so it has to be really simple and easy. And yeah, you can say, is it a soft bit? Yeah, for my horse it can be soft, but if I put it on the other client's horse that doesn't like it, for that horse it isn't soft. So that's why we have the puzzle with every horse to make sure to find the right one. But yeah, I know in our country, it's not allowed to ride as a dressage rider on competitions with a lot of kind of different bits. Yeah.
This is because dressage has a lot of rules, right?
Yeah.
When you go out of dressage, and oh my God, for me, when I did it, it was all a surprise. It's horrible, no? What you can find with horses. And the kind of equitations, and it's terrible. So I hope we can help more people. We can give them knowledge about this. Thank you very much. I think this is very, very interesting for us, every rider, to learn about. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, I'm really glad that this is it for horses, because every time I get a really problem horse, they say, and we just change bit and bridles to make the tag good, it makes me so happy to see a happy horse, but also a happy rider. For me, that's what gives me energy, is that I get, at the moment I only get really big puzzles, so if it's really hard. And I'm so glad just to help the horses, that they feel better and they just want to work, because they really want to work for us. But that's something that's so special, to make a horse's life better. Yeah.
I'm very happy with this. This has been an honor, to know you, to have this opportunity to learn about your experience. Thank you very much for sharing. I'm very happy. So I hope we can keep on contact, in touch. We can keep on touch, because I think there's a lot of to learn about this.
I think I have to tell Masha that when she comes to Mexico again, that I'm coming with her to help also horses in your country.
Yes, please come and let me know when you come. Please. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you very much.
¿Qué tal, chicos? ¿Cómo vieron? ¿Les gustó? Sí, estoy de acuerdo. Muy informativa esta charla. Y sobre todo porque creo que hay bien poca información, ¿saben? De lo que es el caballo, de lo que realmente necesita. Y algo muy importante para mí con esta chica, con Joyce, es que no solamente estudió cómo es cada bocado y la forma del bocado, porque eso se da mucho y hay muchos cursos al respecto. Pero realmente lo importante aquí es comprender la biomecánica de cada caballo. Y si nos has estado siguiendo durante estos 4 días, sabes que ya hemos estado mencionando que cada individuo es diferente, ¿sí? Y que tenemos que tratar a cada caballo como un individuo. No podemos seguir pensando que todos los filetes son para cualquiera y que todos van a funcionar de la misma manera para cualquier caballo. Pero algo que yo quiero añadir aquí es que siempre, además, tenemos que pensar en el binomio. La biomecánica del jinete, por supuesto, también interfiere, porque no es lo mismo mi longitud de brazo que la longitud de brazo de otra persona, o la fuerza o la forma en que se acomoda todo nuestro cuerpo, porque al final el brazo está conectado con mi cuerpo, con mi asiento, con mi pelvis, ¿saben? Entonces, es realmente muy, muy importante saber ver el conjunto, no nada más irnos a pensar que este filete te genera más presión aquí o acá, no. Ahorita hicieron un comentario, perdón, no alcancé a apuntar a quién lo hizo, pero comentó que le cambió a su caballo de un filete grueso a uno más delgado porque tenía la boca muy pequeña y que era un pony, ¿no? Y tenía la boca muy pequeña y sintió que era muy grueso para el pony y se lo puso uno más delgado y lo criticaban porque sí, se supone, la regla dice que entre más delgado es el filete, más presión va a generar porque hay menos área por donde esparcir esa presión, ¿sí? Es cuestión de física y matemáticas, ¿no? Es estudio de área. Entonces, pero la verdad es que tenemos que tomar en cuenta no nada más eso, o sea, si tienes un caballo, es más, lo voy a hablar por mí. Mi yegua con la que yo hice mi alto rendimiento y internacionales y todo, tiene una boca pequeña adentro, entonces cuando le poníamos cosas gruesas o incluso la doble brida para las competencias internacionales, que es obligatorio, iba incomodísima, ¿sí? Yo tuve que buscar cosas que no pesaran, materiales que le fueran más amables para poder hacer eso. Y por supuesto, usar siempre lo más delgado, y ella era 1000 veces más feliz con eso. Entonces, es muy importante que pensemos en cada caballo como individuo, por favor, ¿sale? A ver, ¿qué nos están contando aquí? No había pensado en la distribución de la presión, claro, claro, porque aparte tienes que considerar que el bocado no solamente hace presión aquí, va a generar presión aquí atrás, ¿sí? Y cuando tienes palas muy grandes, la presión se multiplica, se exponencia. Entonces generas más presión adentro de la boca y más presión acá arriba, ¿sabes? Eso es muy importante que sí lo consideremos. Jerónimo, ánimo. Te entiendo perfecto. De pronto has recibido muchísima información y ¿ahora qué hago con todo esto? Se puede hacer muchísimo, no te preocupes. Ojalá dieran estos servicios. Estoy de acuerdo contigo. Nosotros, como yo comenté acá, pues siempre estamos viendo la manera de buscar lo mejor para el caballo y tienen que recordar que todo lo que hacemos con el caballo, como no nos pueden decir, me acomoda más, pues al final de cuentas es prueba y error. Entonces, hay muchas marcas ya de filetes muy buenas, muy finas, que están haciendo filetes de prueba muchísimo más económicos, que a la cuarta puesta se pueden reventar, es así, es la verdad, pero pruebas, la forma, el peso, o sea, hay muchas cosas que ahora se está tratando de hacer porque es complejo poder estar haciendo todas estas pruebas, pero sí los invito, apóyense con sus amigos, préstame tu filete, préstame tu brida, ¿saben? Tenemos que encontrar lo que realmente le funciona a nuestro caballo. Perdón. Debo confesar que me estaba yo comiendo un mazapán. Y eso es lo que sentí. Y lo tengo que decir, ya me dio pena, pero es la verdad. Ok. En escuelas de salto he escuchado mucho el grito de los riendas cortas, rienda corta, rienda corta. Claro, Esto es muy importante, gracias por comentarlo, pero bueno, no vamos a meternos en muchísimos problemas de teoría ahorita, pero tenemos que entender una cosa. Para que tú puedas llevar una rienda corta, el cuerpo del caballo tiene que haberse acortado y eso lo haces a través del trabajo y el entrenamiento en cada sesión. Lo peor que puedes hacer es, antes de haber trabajado el cuerpo y modificarlo, empezar a cortar las riendas. Solo le acortas el cuello terriblemente a los caballos. Claro que van resistiendo porque a nadie nos gustaría ir así por la vida, ¿no? Gracias por comentarlo. También lo comentamos ayer con Mark, porque tampoco debemos estar forzando a los caballos en el cuerpo de esa manera, ¿no? Entonces es muy importante. Libros, no hay nada en español que yo haya encontrado sobre biomecánica. En mi caballo, ¿saben? Yo me siento mucho más relajado con un cacahuate, claro, y eso se ve mucho queremos mazapán. No, ya me lo comí. Se ve mucho que es muy fácil utilizar filetes o frenos fuertes en el caballo porque, claro, se vuelve muy fácil el manejo porque el caballo no quiere tocar. Pero, ¿qué es lo que pasa? Que atrás de eso, y lo digo literal, después de la presión que tenemos en la cabeza, en la boca, con esos frenotes, te vas hacia atrás del caballo, en la espalda, en las ancas, en los cuartos traseros, en las patas, siempre hay rigidez. Siempre, de verdad, a menos de que tengas una super monta y que todo tenga una congruencia, pero desgraciadamente muy pocas veces se ve eso con ese tipo de frenos. El caballo le metes eso a la boca y ya está incómodo, aunque no estés generando presión, ¿no? ¿Sale? Entonces, nosotros no usamos ninguna embocadura, son caballos de terapia, están acostumbrados, perfecto. O sea, yo tampoco estoy en desacuerdo en este tema del beadless, ¿eh? El problema es que mucha gente deja de usar bocados para ser más suave y les mete unas cosas que generan una presión terrible acá y que incluso se ha demostrado que es increíblemente incómodo para el caballo y muy doloroso. Incluso si lo pones más abajo, ya ni siquiera hay hueso, hay puro cartílago, ¿sabes? Entonces, en fin, hay muchas cosas que tenemos que seguir. Voy a hacer un mazapán marca Edith para que ya no me molesten. Pero bueno, ¿cómo medir un filete? Bueno, chicos, sí, hay muchísima más información. Híjole, creo que no terminaríamos aquí con todo esto. Para darles más información, el caballo debe reunir para poder tener una ronda corta. Ok, supongo que esto es... pero este fue en directo, ok. Ok, chicos, los filetes a prueba, sí, si quieres te los paso mañana para no equivocarme. Son marcas de importación. Con mucho gusto podemos compartirte eso. La zona de vista tiene conexiones nerviosas incluyentes sensibles. ¿Qué libro para mejorar como jinete en cualquier aspecto me recomiendas? Bueno, pues sí, hay mucho que recomendar, la verdad. Ok, hay uno de Kira Kirkland, que fue de mis primeros libros, que es padrísimo, es en inglés. No sé, no recuerdo el nombre. Le sacamos una foto y te lo mandamos mañana con mucho gusto. Tengo uno también de Carl Hester, que por favor es mi súper ídolo como entrenador, jinete también, pero como entrenador increíble. Pero con todo lo moderno que hay ahora, pues la verdad es que estos libros son un poquito más antiguos. Sería cosa de tratar de buscarte. Yo la verdad es que leo muchísimos artículos porque son lo más novedoso. En español como tal no hemos encontrado. El reglamento es muy bueno, pero ojo, Laura, que ahí viene poca teoría como tal, pero vienen todas las fotos de lo que es permitido en la FEI, sin duda alguna, ¿sale? Claro, vamos a empezar a compartirles esto que ya nos están pidiendo ahorita, mañana por el grupo de WhatsApp, ¿sale? Para que pues sigamos... pues que ustedes puedan seguir creciendo y que no se nos sientan perdidos, ¿sale? Buenísimo. Chicos, me encanta que estén interesados, pero nos van a dar las 18,000 de la noche y no vamos a poder terminar, ¿sale? Entonces, muy importante. Les voy a platicar ahora que nuestra siguiente invitada fue verdaderamente espectacular. La verdad es que me decidí a invitarla porque tuve la oportunidad de platicar con ella y me sentí honestamente muy identificada con ella, me sentí muy contenta de ver que pues no estaba yo tan perdida en mi lucha como entrenadora, como querer compartir toda esta información. La verdad fue espectacular encontrarme con ella. O sea, sí, la verdad no puedo decir más que eso, ya me verán. Pero bueno, estoy muy contenta. Ella es jinete y es entrenadora, muy preparada, y la verdad sí los invito, y sobre todo quiero que recuerden esto que es muy importante. No importa qué equitación o qué disciplina estés practicando, el adiestramiento es la base de todas ellas. ¿Por qué? Porque te da comunicación, porque te da sensibilidad, porque te da asiento, porque te da estabilidad. Y ojo, que hasta ahorita solo he mencionado cosas del jinete. Después de ahí nos ayuda a construir a nuestros caballos, nos ayuda a llevarlos mejor, a lograr comunicarnos con ellos, pero sobre todo es muy importante que entiendan esto. Es muy importante que recuerden que para mí lo que yo siempre digo es, el adiestramiento es el arte de enseñarle a nuestro caballo a cargarnos sin esfuerzo. ¿Sale? Y sin duda, gracias a eso también nos evitamos lesiones, problemas, discusiones con nuestro caballo, frustraciones de nuestro caballo, etcétera, etcétera. Así que, por favor, les pido de verdad que pongan muchísima atención sin importar qué estén practicando. Esta es una gran plática para todo tipo de jinete y también para todo tipo de entrenador de equitación, porque les prometo que da muchísimos tips. Así que, por favor, si me ayudan a continuar, vamos ahora a pasar a nuestro siguiente entrevista con Masha van Es. Así que sin más preámbulo, Masha, hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Great. I'm so happy to have you here because I think this is very interesting for us to talk about training, dressage, and everything.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I can send some information from Holland to Mexico.
Thank you. So let's start from the beginning. Please let us know a little bit, how did you start with horses and riding?
I come from a horse family. My mom always rides a lot of horses, jumping horses, especially. And she put me on a horse when I was, I think, like 2 or 3 years old. But that was only like sitting and playing around with the ponies. And I think when I was 6, she sent me to a riding school. And then you can play around with other kids and with the ponies, and they teach you in a big group to ride a horse. So after a while I was a little bit obsessed about the horses. But I don't want it to be a jumper, I want to be a dressage queen. So after, I think when I was 10 or 11, I get my first pony. And we get to the competitions, and I get even more obsessed, so I get another pony. And after a while, I was around, I think, 14 or 15 years old, and then I start to ride also horses from other people. And after that, I said, okay, I want to quit with my school and I want to be a professional rider. But they weren't that happy about that. So I had to make off my school. And after, I think, 2 or 3 years, she was accepting it, and I started my own business with, I think, 15 horses around that, and start also to ride from other people. And I worked at a big company with a lot of horses. Now I'm working with my sister, and we have a big stable, and she rides a lot, I teach a lot.
Okay, and then you also did Grand Prix, right?
No, my sister did the Grand Prix, I did the small tour.
Okay.
with several horses. And yeah, because my injury, what I had, like my back problems, I had to focus more on the teaching.
But
and
you had an accident.
yeah, like more than 10 years ago, I had an accident. I was the professional rider and I had several horses, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I fell down off a young horse and I broke my back. So that was really painful. And it took for 2 surgeries. And I have to rehabilitate for, I think, almost 2 years. I need to walk again, and the only thing what I was in my mind was I have to go back on the horse. I have to go back on the horse. But yeah, it took almost 2 years.
My God.
But I went back on the horse.
Yes.
But yeah,
That's the most important thing. That's great. Of course, you had a big struggle there, but you just have to be thankful because you are back. And now you decided to become a trainer. But I think if you want to be a trainer, you have to study there because you need it to be official, right?
it's true. You need an education in Holland to give classes and trainings with the horses. So I went back to school.
That is great. And how long does it take to become a official training?
Yeah, it depends what kind of do you want to be a professional trainer or for the amateurs trainers? We can our federation, the KNS, you can sign in for an education to become a trainer, and then you can choose, do you want to be a dressage trainer or for the riding school for the young kids or for the jumpers or both. It's also possible, but I choose to be for the dressage. You have the theory, you have to learn everything about the horses, how they move, first aid you learn too, but also how to communicate with the people and how to explain someone who doesn't know to ride a horse. That's really difficult because in your brain you know how to do it, but to explain it's a little bit different.
It's totally different.
And I think the first education was, I think, 1.5 years, 2 years. And you have to ride also with your horse. Like 1 week, it's you have to go with your horse. You get your own training, and then they told you like try to do this, and how do you want to explain that if you're riding. And the other week, it's more on the theory. And then 1.5 years, I think we have to do our tests. And then you have the basics, and then you can go to international trainer or there was a lot of education you do. And I did, like last year, I finished my what's the name of it? Top horse management. Okay. It's not about giving trainings to people, but it's more about the whole management around the horses. Okay. But I think if you want to be a good trainer, you have to teach your students too how to manage a horse, because each horse is different, and it's more than only riding. You can ride like a queen, but if you don't manage a horse next to that, it's going to be a disaster. So like that education was really, really good for me. And now you had a bigger picture.
And also I think that is very important that you know all your horses' stages. I mean, how to put the equipment, how does he likes to be wearing? Does it have to be more tightened or softer, or and
where the noseband has to sit, how high, how low, what is good for the horse, and also you have to see it and feel it too. But the first things they teach you there, and if you know it, you can put the information to your students, and if they know it, they can bring it to the other one, and then we get the bigger picture. So I think Holland is doing really good with that.
That is very important. And also, how did you decide in which level your students are going to compete?
I don't decide.
Okay.
I don't know if they told you, we have like a system. Everyone has to start. If you are like a kid or someone from 50 years old, doesn't matter. If you start with a competition, you have to start in the lower level. It's the beginner level. And we have, I think, like 8 levels in the amateur class.
Okay.
The beginners, light 1, light 2, medium 1, medium 2, and then the heavier classes, but it's all amateur, so like 8 classes. And everyone has to start with the beginners. They have to go with 10 times 60% or 65%, so you earn your points. And if you have 10 points, you can go to a level higher. And then you have to earn again all those points, and then you can go a level higher. Great. So after a while, you are going to a professional class, like small tour, Grand Prix or something, but you have to earn every step. So I don't decide where they have to start. Everyone has to start at the level, at the beginning. Only if you are competing like several years and you have a lot of horses on a bigger, on a higher level, then you are good enough to start in a higher level. Like, we don't have to start in a lower level. We can start whatever we want, but it's because we reached our goal. We had a lot of horses in a higher level, so then they say, okay, you are a professional, so you can choose now.
You have already begun from the beginning, right? So you already have the level to be able to compete with the level of the horse, not the rider. Yeah. But of course, when you are starting and you are an amateur, you need to follow all the steps. And I think that is also good because it's more it's safer, for riders and for horses, to
exactly.
begin from the lower levels and grow up as you develop all the knowledge and the physical skills, all the physical skills.
And you get a lot more of the basics. And I think it's really important for all the people who wants to ride a horse that they start from zero and then they earn to ride Grand Prix. For me, it doesn't say, if anyone say, okay, I'm riding Grand Prix, and I'm like, okay, did it by yourself from the beginner to the Grand Prix, or did you buy a Grand Prix horse? Because that's a big difference. And if you ride Grand Prix, it doesn't mean you are really good. And also the opposite way, if you're riding in a beginner class and you ride a lot of young horses, they have to start in the beginner class. Some people are better in the beginner class than some people riding Grand Prix, because the people from the Grand Prix can ride the tricks, but the people who are riding all those young horses in the lower classes, they can ride really they can ride good. So
and I think that it's very important to learn the basics and to be developing it, because if you don't have the basics, whatever you build over it is not going to be clear or strong, and it always will be shown with the horses, right?
So it's really important for other people to learn the basics and ride different kind of types of horses. Just don't ride one horse, just feel, and don't only think about Grand Prix, because Grand Prix, it's at the end. You cannot go from zero to Grand Prix. You have to put every step, and it takes years, I know. But if you are good and you have all the skills and you have also a good horse and you have a good trainer, it can be quicker and you can go faster to the Grand Prix. But the way up, it's a long way. That's why if you are there, it's fantastic because you earn it. But it's a long way.
Like you were saying, if you buy a horse with a level, for example, Grand Prix, but you don't know how to ride him and how to ride those exercises with the basics, not as a trick, like you said, the horse is going to start to be confused, and to start to get mad and things like that, right? Because you're not gonna feel comfortable with unclear messages.
And then they say like it's a crazy horse, or the horse is not safe enough, but 9 of the 10 times they don't understand you.
Exactly.
And I feel sorry for those horses, because I know they know it, only the communication, someone has to tell the rider how to communicate with that horse. And it's not, also if we sell our horses to clients or to people who want to buy a horse, we also always say, okay, just bring your trainer, we can talk about it, this is the way how we train, and try to bring that management to you, and then change whatever you want. But it's a horse, so don't bring him out of his comfort zone, and try to communicate with them.
Yes, most of the behavior problems start because the communication is wrong, because they are not comfortable, they are not understanding us, they are starting to feel with frustration, for example, and we have to listen to them. I think one of the most important things is to learn to listen and to know your horse. So they can tell you, I'm not understanding, and then you can explain the same thing in a different way, or continue explaining, or whatever, but you have to learn to listen.
There's not one way to explain something to a horse. Just like you have several characters as a person, you have also several characters of a horse. So you have to find the way. We are the smart people, we say. The horse doesn't know, we have to communicate with them.
Yeah.
They are happy to stand in the field. They don't want to ride all the day in arena. So we want something from them. So we have to to ask them how we can communicate with them. And a lot of people are like, okay, he only have to listen. Yes, okay, I know, but just try to find a way that you can communicate with them. And then I think there are no crazy horses. You have to communicate with them, and if you know how to communicate with those kind of horses, then it will be fine. But it has to suit your character. Like,
what I think is there are horses that can be more patient, that can deal with misunderstanding better than others, but that doesn't mean that they are happy, that they are comfortable, or that they are not going to be crazy one day. I mean, they have their own limits, no? And suddenly they are going to say also, I don't like this.
Yeah.
What I see in my country is that people want to learn quickly and to develop growing levels by levels as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly. I visit your country sometimes to help friends, and I help them with some lessons. And the main question is always like, can you help me quickly to ride the flying changes or the piaffe or the passage? And I'm like, okay, what kind of level do you ride? And then, okay, you could show me how you want to ride. And then they are not able to ride a straight line. And then I have to tell them, okay, be patient. First, you have to do like ride a straight line. You have to feel if he's straight, if he's even. And then they look at me like, okay, but I only want to do a flying change. I'm like, okay, but you have first to do this. And after you get your flying change, it's not pushing on the button and say, okay, now we have to do a flying change. So I hope at the end, and now I see Mexico is growing. They are getting it little by little, but someone have to tell them, a lot of people have to tell them the way how they have to go. And at the end, it will happen.
Sure. I'm laughing because welcome to my world. Very difficult is because I'm teaching all around my country, and this is always the same what you are saying, and then they say, but why should I start with that is so easy? Okay, then do it. I mean, what I would like to teach them or to share with people is the passion of teaching a horse, or of develop the horse from the beginning and to be able to enjoy every step, not only the biggest steps, you know, or the
But
final
I think
place.
it's also because they see at the internet or at the TV the Grand Prix, and they say, okay, I want to do that. So then they buy a Grand Prix horse. But it's the other way around. If you have a young horse and you have to train them to go to Grand Prix, you know, okay, I have to have my horse straight. Otherwise, at the end, I have a problem in my flying changes. So, but because they never did a lower level, they don't know how important it is to ride a straight line. So maybe the federation in Mexico have to put the same strategy to earn your points to go to a higher level. I think that will work a lot.
That would be very helpful, totally. Yeah, to have more some regulations on that. And I think it's also good for horses because at the end, the horses are always struggling with bad communication, with bad equitation. And I think they don't deserve that. I have to say, I'm sorry, but they don't deserve that. They deserve to be treated like a king and a queen, you know?
Yeah. But I think also the people, they want to treat them like a king, but if they don't know how to treat them, they think they do the best. I think it's not that they don't want to treat them, they don't want to treat them bad, but it's they don't know how. They think they are doing the best. It's the same. Sometimes here in Holland, people put 10 blankets on a horse because they think they are having it cold, but they are not cold. So, and they love the horses a lot.
Same thing happens in Mexico. Yeah, same thing happened in Mexico. I have found a lot of people that really love their horses, but they don't have enough knowledge, and so the horses are suffering some injuries or some illness or some bad treatments, or things like that, because they don't know how to deal with them. So we really need to have more information. And of course, the theory and everything is amazing to help, and it's always with all the management of the horses, and that's why I think what you talked about to study about the management of horses, it's very interesting, because that is very important too, in talking about wellness of the horses.
Blacksmith, it's every horse has his own program.
Sure.
It's not, we have like, I think now 35 horses, and every horse has his own program.
Great.
It's not one thing. You have to look at the horse, and every horse needs, like human beings. They have his own character. All the stallions they are going outside in our place. We don't put them in a stable because they need their freedom. And also, when it's not, some of stallions are crazy, but then we find a way out that they can go outside, but we have to manage that. So no mares in the area. Use your brain, but don't put them in the stable. They are not happy only in the stable. But if they manage also like a little bit more spaces and field, and they have a window, they can see each other, they can smell each other, that will be really good for the horses.
Yeah, totally. But also, I feel and think like you that the paddocks are essential. They have to go out and they have to move freely and not move if they don't want, and take sun and take shadow, whatever they want, I feel, because having a horse totally alone is horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, and also I would like to know, do you follow as a national system for teaching, or do you develop something special for your place?
I think, every teacher has their own thing. And I try, together with my sister, to teach and ride the horses the best way, to look at the characters and then find a program that fits for them. So I don't teach all the people the same. Also, I have to look to my students how some people are. I have to be tough on. Some people I have to be a little gentle with, but also to look with the horses. Some horses, they have another kind of
Characters.
to ride than a horse who's really dominant, or you have a sensitive horse or a scary horse. You know, no, there's not one way. I don't have one program. I have to look how they are.
Yes, we as trainers, we have to develop skills to be able to how can I say, to understand what is going on between horse and rider, and to understand how the riders can communicate and how the horse understands, so we can help them to put it together, right? I mean, every rider is different, every horse is different, so of course every team is different, so we have to develop for each one of them a different way to communicate.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that you have to connect the horse with the person together, and they understand each other. And I'm a tough teacher. I'm not happy. If something goes wrong, they will know. And I always say it's not the horse's fault. You want to ride the horse, so you have to do your best to understand the horse. And I will help you with that, but it takes time, and you have to be patient. And at the end, it will be okay. But you have to believe in yourself and in your horse. Yeah. And you have ups and downs. We don't like the downs.
Totally.
Always it always will be better. And we will find a solution.
One of the most beautiful things with horses is that you never stop learning. I mean, every day there's something new that you can, you have to solve, you have to understand, and you have to find better ways to explain to your horse or to try.
And I think you learn a lot with the difficult horses. My difficult horses, in the start, I was like, okay, I'm not getting this. This is really, okay, oh my God. But at the end, when I'm there, I'm so grateful that I had those difficult horses, because you learn. It's really difficult to learn it that way, but if you know it, you really know it. So I think a lot of people tell me like, my horse is not easy. No, yeah, it's possible that your horse is not easy, but at the end, if you know it and you get it, then you know how to ride. So that's not an excuse. If you want to learn how to ride a horse, just ride difficult horses, and at the end, you know how to ride.
Sure. And there are different horses, but when you find the exactly way to communicate with them, to teach them, to guide them, oof, it's the best moment for you, you know?
Yeah, I know. I have the same addiction.
Yeah. Exactly. Be careful with this addiction because it's not going to stop.
Oh, never.
Yeah. And tell me, do you ride your student horses? How often do you do
yes.
it? Or just when they have problems? How do you work with that?
Yes, sometimes I ride the horses of my students, but I always tell them, first you have to do it yourself. And if I see they are struggling, or I see the horse is smarter than the person who is riding him, or I see the lady or the guy is trying his heart out, but it's not going to work, then I will jump on and I see, okay, look at me. You see what I'm doing? Try to do it. Okay, and then I put them back on the horse again, and I say, okay, can you feel it different? And then like, okay, wow, yeah, now I'm feeling it. Yeah. But then the next day I'm telling them, okay, the next day you jump on, it's gone. So now you have to do it yourself. And then they're like, okay, this is difficult. And then sometimes they ask, can you do it again? No, I only do it once, so you can feel it. Now I'm here to teach you how to do it. So yeah, sometimes I ride the horses, but not all the time. I'm the teacher. So.
There are some riders that wants to get there in an easier way, but at the
There
end,
is no easy way.
yeah,
The
if
easy
you
way is just look at the television and watch Grand Prix. And don't ride a horse. If you want to ride a horse, there is no easy way.
exactly, because if you want to learn, you have to go through it. That's my point. I'm sorry. I mean, I can ride you the horse once, twice. Maybe I can make this situation a little bit easier because I'm going to explain the horse first, and then he's going to understand so you can feel it and maybe know how to get there or have the feeling of what you are looking for example.
Exactly. So I help them with a little bit of the feeling, and then they jump on the horse, and then they feel. But I'm not that kind of trainer who's riding those horses, and then the rider can jump on and ride and do his tricks. Because then you're not a horse rider; you only can ride tricks. And I'm not that kind of trainer. I don't like that.
I understand perfectly because I have had some people that also stop training with me because I don't want to go competing like that, when the horses are not ready, when the people is not ready for that, or because I don't want to continue with something else when they are struggling with the basics, for example.
Yeah, I think, that's true. So hopefully we're getting all the Mexicans getting the basics, and then it'll be fine.
Yes.
Just learn and it will be fine. I think Mexico is coming. If I see like 5 years ago, I think I was the first time there, and now I see you're growing. It's getting better. And
I'm very happy because I think there is more people trying to be a good rider, to be more like horsey people, to understand the horses, to take care of them in the best way. So I think we are really growing. And I'm also helping people with the dressage basics for another kind of equitation. I mean, reining, charreria, endurance, and of course jumping, and it's very helpful. What do you think about it?
I think at the end, the basics like Western, jumping, dressage, reining, it's all the same. And I tell all my young students to do everything with the horses. Don't only ride dressage or only jump, but do everything, and then you get the feeling how to ride a horse.
How can you think about going to a show if you don't feel able to go out in the country for a walk with your horse? I mean, I think everything is part of the training. I mean, you have to be able to do everything.
You have to trust them. It's a lot of impact for them, and we know what we want, but the horses are like, okay, this is another world. What is happening? And then we get stressed because we want to write a test, and then they feel the stress, and then it's a disaster. Sure. So I would tell all my students, okay, the first time when you go on a competition with a young horse, don't write a test, just only go and let them get used to the people around them and other horses, so you're not stressed. But if everything is new and you want to go in a competition, yourself are stressed, the horse is stressed, okay, then stop.
Oh my God, thank you very much. I love you so much. You have no idea how I have been struggling with that, because you have to take your horse out to make them feel the situation, the environment, also feel it you with your horse, and school them. It's very difficult here because they say, I'm not gonna spend money on that. What for? Because it's part of the training progress.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to write a good test, but then you need relaxation, you need that they are focused. But if everything is new, it's just like a small kid in the playground. They're like, oh my God, what's this? Oh, and what's this? And then you're like, no, focus on my test. So no.
So good. What is there anything else you want to share with us?
The only thing I want to share is if people are buying horses out of the country, just make sure you have the management of the horse. So now, if you are looking for a new horse, don't say, I want to have a Grand Prix horse. Just say, I'm looking for a kind of a schoolmaster. This is what I'm looking for. But yeah, you have to feel, because it has to suit your character. And I see a lot of good horses going to other countries and then suddenly they disappear because there is no connection with them.
I think it's very important also to build the connection and the communication between horse and rider, because what I see here in Mexico is they buy a horse and 2 weeks later they are already competing. And maybe in dressage takes a little bit more, but in jumping competitions and also another sports, they start competing 2 weeks later. And I mean, it's like a little bit traumatic.
Yeah. They have to. Normally, we say it's around 1 year to become a good team. So if we have together to know the horse, you know how he is in the competition. So take your time. It's not a machine. It's an animal. He has you have to communicate with them very well. And at the end, if you know how to communicate with them, they will do everything for you.
Masha, thank you very much. I'm very happy we had the opportunity to have you here with us, sharing in this event that is very important for the Mexican people and for the people that speaks in Spanish. So thank you very much for sharing your experience.
Thank you very much too for having me here, and I hope to see you soon in Mexico.
Great, for sure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Hola, hola. Oigan, pues encantada yo con... ¿Qué pasó? ¿Eh?
No te veo.
¿Ahora sí? Sí, ya nos habíamos quedado atorados. Encantada yo con esta entrevista. No sé si se notó. Estaba yo muy emocionada, la verdad, del clic que pude hacer con ella, la verdad, lo voy a decir así tal cual, porque pues es muy importante lo que ella estuvo hablando, la verdad, las bases. Hay cosas que rescato mucho, que pregono mucho yo también, que tienen que ver, por ejemplo, el proceso. O sea, los caballos son una gran enseñanza para nosotros de que todo en esta vida es un proceso. Y tenemos mucha prisa, y yo lo que digo es que la prisa es el peor enemigo para la equitación, para tu caballo y para la vida. En fin, la verdad es que me quedé gratamente muy contenta, ¿no? de haber tenido esta plática con ella. Hay dos conceptos o dos cosas que ella comentó que quiero rescatar. Esto de preguntarle al caballo cómo quiere que nos comuniquemos, cómo entiende mejor. Eso me pareció fantástico, porque se ve mucho en las personas que quieren que el caballo les entienda como ellos les van a decir las cosas y punto. O entrenadores que pretenden hacer que todos los caballos entiendan igual, de la misma manera, las mismas ayudas, los mismos equipos y no, la misma monta, y la verdad no es posible. Recordemos de nuevo, cada individuo o cada caballo es un individuo. Entonces es muy importante. Y lo otro que me encanta, porque también soy fiel creyente de esta idea, es que no existen caballos locos. Existen caballos hartos, desesperados, confundidos, con dolor, aislados. Bueno, la lista puede ser enorme. Entonces, para mí, esto es padrísimo, porque ahorita lo que podemos hacer es como unir todas las ideas que hemos estado viendo durante esta semana y empezar a generar este concepto de bienestar para el caballo, en donde entonces, si el caballo se encuentra bien, él va a poder tener la capacidad de brindarnos lo mejor de sí mismo. ¿Sale? Eso es muy importante que lo tengamos muy presente. Gracias, Fernanda. La verdad, sí, qué bueno que te gustó. Laura, claro, nosotros también quisiéramos formalizar muchas cosas,
Lento, claro, Rúa, claro que sí tiene que ser mucho más suave todos los procesos. Loreto, gracias por estar aquí también. Qué bueno que estás aprendiendo y reafirmado y confirmado, porque claro que para esto es también esto, o sea, no estamos descubriendo el hilo negro, que eso quede muy claro, ¿eh? Yo creo que esto existe desde hace muchísimo tiempo, pero nos desviamos a la hora de nuestras prisas, a la hora de que nos dejamos ir con todo lo que nosotros queremos ya que suceda, ¿no? Me encanta, muchas gracias por toda la información, agree, yo también, viene un cambio hermoso para todos, ojalá por favor empecemos a mover esto entre todos, es muy importante. Un saludo para Javier y Lady, ¿ok? Se puede organizar un Zoom para hablar de todo esto, claro. Ok, vamos a tratar, es una buena idea hablar sobre el lenguaje corporal de los caballos, sin duda alguna, y el lenguaje corporal que nosotros podemos transmitir hacia ellos, aprovechando lo que ellos ya saben, sin duda alguna. Y sí, estoy de acuerdo, Florencia, entre más sé, más me doy cuenta que sé menos, como me decía un amigo que estuvo montando conmigo, Edith, yo era muy feliz siendo ignorante. ¿Qué me has hecho? Y es verdad, porque uno la pasa bomba, ¿no? Cuando no estás ahí viendo tanto detalle. Pero, ¿saben? Yo vi un meme tal cual en las redes que decía, esto no se vuelve más fácil, pero sí se vuelve más divertido. Y yo creo fervientemente eso. Entre más información tienes, entre más conocimiento, claro que ya no se te va, ya no te puedes hacer el menso, digamos, ¿no? Pero sí se vuelve muy, muy divertido más cada vez. Así que yo quiero que nos podamos quedar con esto, ¿no? Para que, déjenme ver. Y este concepto, la verdad, take your time is not a machine. Tómate tu tiempo, no es una máquina el caballo. Recordemos eso, por favor, y dejemos de tratarlo como una raqueta que guardo en el closet y la saco cuando me acuerdo, ¿no? Entonces, chicos, me encanta que estamos hasta acá y seguimos juntos, ¿sí? Y que podemos continuar con nuestra semana ecuestre con los Países Bajos, que para mí, yo se los tengo que decir, ha sido verdaderamente espectacular. La verdad, creo que ya se dan cuenta, yo le he pasado bomba en cada una de las entrevistas y espero habérselos transmitido, porque no solo se trata de venir a divertirnos, claro que sí, porque el aprendizaje no tiene por qué ser aburrido, ¿no? Pero la idea también era poder aprender muchísimo, así que me encanta tenerlos aquí. ¿Y qué les parece si volvemos a comenzar con esto? Y vamos con nuestra siguiente entrevista. Qué emoción que tuvimos esta gran oportunidad, por favor, con Michael van der Vleuten. La verdad, ha sido magnífico poder platicar con él, un jinetazo que el día de hoy está clasificado como el número 4 del mundo. Y quiero que nos acompañen a conocer un poco más de él, un poco más porque creo que es muy interesante siempre conocer el tras bambalinas. A mí me emociona mucho ver cómo se construye un campeón, pero también cómo vive, porque al final sí terminan siendo como somos nosotros. Así que por favor, sin más preámbulo, vamos con Michael a esta siguiente entrevista. Michael, how are you?
Everything is going all right. Quite busy with the shows and riding and training and
parece que tuvieron algún problemita. Vamos a ver. Michael, how are you?
Everything is going all right. Quite busy with the shows and riding and training and teaching. So yeah, everything, yeah, good. Everything fine.
Great. Yes, I know you're very busy, but thank you very much for taking the time to come with us.
Sure, good. Thank you.
Great.
So let's start. I would like to know, how did all this start for you? Did you start riding as a young rider?
Yes, I was quite young, interested. Let's say like this. My father was, so I basically grew up between the horses, and I must say I really enjoy being, in the stable every day and be around with the ponies. And yeah, that's how it started. My mom traveled around with me a lot when I was young, because my father was often on the way, often on the show. So my mom helped me in the beginning years a lot, with riding, went to a teacher to get some lessons. And yeah, from there on, it slowly, was getting a bit more serious.
Ah, great. Yeah. So both your mother and your father help you in different ways, but they help you build your career.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And did you get some good results as a young rider?
Yes, I was quite successful with the ponies already. I did a European championship with my 13 and 14 years old. Won one medal by then. And then when I was 15, I went to the juniors and now had some good success with the juniors, also with the young riders, and slowly, came in between the top riders of the world.
And do you have family? Are you married?
I'm not married. I'm 13, 14 years together with my girlfriend. We have 2 children. I have one daughter, she's 5.5, and one daughter just became 2 years old. So wow. They are, I must say, the oldest one start riding a little bit. I must say she enjoys, and let's see what direction they like to go. But it's always nice if one of your children will continue with the job I do. Yeah,
sure, for sure. I think sometimes it happens that you have children and they hate your sport, that is very difficult.
I know but yeah, you don't have it always on your side. I mean, for me, it's the most important that they enjoy what they do. That's
sure.
Yeah.
And
I will never.
And your girlfriend, does she like horses?
Yeah, she does. She always has 1 or 2 horses which she brings out on the show, some younger horses, but it's more hobby, it's she enjoys, and beside that, she does all my the administrative, how you say that? Yeah. So all the paperwork, all the entries for the show.
She helps a lot.
She helps a lot behind the screens. Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great. So are you in the world ranking?
The new one is just out. I'm just at the 4th place now. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing.
3 more places to go.
Yes. Great. And now you are representing your country, right?
Yes. Now during the summer season, we have some Nations Cups, and then the end of the season there will be the European Championships, and that will be the main goal this year, and then looking forward for next year for the Olympic Games in Paris.
Great. So now you are part of the team, the national team.
Yes, sure.
Great. And also you were telling me that you compete at the World Equestrian Games.
Yes. The last year I was part of we had a good championships. Yeah, in the last couple of years I've been taking part at all the championships. So that's it's a great honor to represent your country at those championships. Yes, of course.
Great. And also you get great results at Tokyo in the last Olympic Games.
I had an individual bronze medal, which was fantastic, of course. I also took part at the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro and the one before in London. So yeah, I took part at 3 Olympic Games, and hopefully next year will be the fourth one. Yeah.
Great.
So
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. So tell me, how many horses do you have for those kind of competitions?
At the moment, I have like 4 or 5 horses who are ready to do the bigger stuff. Beside that, I have a couple of horses. We're always try to work on the talented young horses, to produce them, to develop them towards the highest level. And so I always have about 10 horses which I have on in training, 5, 6 years old until the oldest horses. And so it's a full job every day. Yeah,
sure. And tell me, how did you organize your horses for the training? I mean, do you jump every day? Do you work with them on the ground, or ground work, or how did you organize?
Yeah. Well, that change a bit per horse, of course. One horse needs a bit more training wise, jumping. The other one need more dressage work. Depends on the horse. Like the older horses that knows the job, for me it's very important that they I don't jump them a lot. Let's say like this. For me, it's more important that they stay fit, that they stay good in their mind.
With motivation, right?
Yeah, I try to change work a lot for the horses. So don't do a couple of days the same work in the outdoor. I try to have a nice canter track. I use them a lot to work on the condition, to work on the on the mind. I take them often outside in the woods, to just that they are fit and happy to want to do the job. And maybe with a younger horse that needs to learn a bit more, maybe I jump them maybe once or twice more a week, but definitely not big. I work a lot on the basic things at home, which for my opinion has nothing to do with the height. It's just that they listen well to the rider, that they, as I said, that the basic things are in control. Yeah.
People don't believe about dressage for jumping riders, They think the only thing they have to do is to jump and jump and jump. But they don't really know how to build the body, to work with them, to keep their mind in good situation,
But that's not maybe only in Mexico. Maybe that's also in like in Holland. Also, it's many people like to step up like too quick, instead of making sure that the basic things are under control, and that it does not has to be that complicated. It's just that I always try to be one with my horse, and it's all about that the horse needs to understand what you as a rider wants, and that's every day repeating, making the little transitions, making on the lightest help, you want your horse to go forward, the other way around as well. If you want to control them, if you want to go back, they need to just on the lightest the lightest help, they need to listen to you as a rider, you know. And how further you get in the level, how higher the fences are, the course designer also makes it difficult for, you know, it gets every time also more difficult between the jumps. It's all about control, and that's where I'm working a lot on it, you know. And yeah, as I said before, it has nothing to do with jumping every time big jumps. It's just, it can be even just balls on the ground, you know.
Sure.
Try to get the best control with your horse, and from there on makes life all a bit easier. Yeah.
Sure, sure. And what I loved what you said about getting to know each horse, right? Because all of them are different, and you have to know how strong your aids have to be, or how light, or how quick, or how they understand better, or things like that. I mean, it's not always the same.
No, yeah, you have to listen to every horse is different, and with one horse you have to be a little bit more sensitive. With the other horse, with maybe a bit of stronger character, you have to be maybe a bit stronger in the flat work. And you know, you have to spend time with them, and every day, you know, to know each other, and to that the horse understands you as a rider, and that the rider also understands the horse. And you know, once all the elements are in the flat work, then it's of course important that you try that work, try to change with also, so now and then, a bit easier day, you know, for the horses to go once in the woods, and make sure they keep happy and healthy in the mind, you know. And that's where I try to put them a lot also in between in the fields, put them maybe once a day on the launch. Yeah, like this I try to be a bit busy with the horses, you know. It's of course, if I'm a bit in problems with one horse, or I don't find the right control or whatever, I have a person where I can come back to, you know, to help me a little bit with that. But in general, I all try to manage myself a bit, and my father is always there to, you know, to keep an eye on it, or to help me with the jumping a little bit. Because sometimes from the side things look maybe different than how the feeling is, and you know, maybe a few little things can change a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, that's very interesting. But you also are a coach.
I am. Yes, I am. Yes.
You have students with you.
Yes. So now, yeah. Normally we always have 1 or 2 students in the stables. I'm of course often away from home to the bigger shows, but then in those situations, my father is always at home to help them a hand, and that's what we also like to do, to, you know, to share our experience, to the younger riders which are coming up.
Great. I would like you to share with us about one of your best memories, something you achieved, or something you remember that you really like, that you really enjoyed.
Yeah. Well, I'm very thankful for all the success I had in my career. But I think in 2021, the bronze medal at the Olympic Games, I think, was the biggest achievement, because I think every sportman, you know, the biggest goal is to be, you know, to be part of the Olympic Games. And there are only 3 people who can have the individual medal, and that's something very special. Sure. And it's always a long way to get there, and you know, once that happens, it's very it's very special, very special.
And tell me, how do you prepare a young horse? I mean, At what time, at what age do you start them in riding? And then when do you start them on jumping trails and things like that? How does it work?
Yeah. Yeah, we also breed quite a bit. I think we have every year about 6, 7, 8 foals, you know. But that's not happen in our stable. In our stable, we just have the sport horses, you know, and so they grow up on a stable nearby, and there they also get broken in, you know, they get used to the saddle, and so from say 3, 4 years old, they come to our stable. My brother, he is also working in our yard. He is he's basically spending time on the younger horses. So from that age on, and then actually from 5, 6 years old, then you know, I also take some young horses. Because then I can take them also to the international shows and give them the right experience. And yeah, my brother has some young horses to develop, and I'll take them over maybe when they are 7 or 8 years old, for example, if it goes well with my brother. Yeah, we try to do it a bit with the whole family, you know, and I must say that goes quite okay. Yeah,
Great. That's amazing. It's very nice that you all work together.
yeah, of course. And my father has still a couple of horses to compete at the highest level, and beside that, he will also has a few young horses to produce towards the highest level.
Great.
Also, once a horse gets sold, of course, you know, in the age from 4 till 8 years old, and yeah, like this we try to survive a little bit.
Yeah, that's very nice. So, Michael, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah.
It's
I don't know if there's anything you would like to know, or yeah.
Yeah. So what I see is that you really take care of the welfare of the horses.
Yeah, it's like let's say like this: if you have the horse against you, you have nothing to say, and I always believe how more you become friends with your horses, how more you get back from them in the arena. And as I said, as a younger horses, you have to spend a lot of time with them to get one with your horse. That's just about try to trust, that you can trust each other, that you get confidence in each other, and try to understand each other. And then, but once you're at that point, I think it's very important for me to keep everything healthy and happy and sound. And I think that's one of the biggest important things that has to be right to perform well at the highest level.
Sure. Yeah. I think that having them happy is the best thing. Also, you are going to have better results, but also it's nicer to be able to be building a team with a happy horse, right? Because they work better, they do it with more happiness, and I mean it's very different.
Yeah, and but it costs a lot of time, and because often you see that a good horse gets sold to maybe another good rider, but it's no guarantee that it works well, because the horse and rider don't understand each other, and they that's why I also like spending time with young horses and to produce them and get one with the horse. That's something what I really enjoy, you know. And and that's the same thing with the groom, with my groom, you know, and the people you have working at home and spending time with the horses. It's very important that they also like to spend time with the horse and not only work but also take them out once for a grass or a hand walk, you know. And yeah, I think that's something very important.
Sure.
A very important factor in our sport. Yeah.
Sure. And as you were saying before, I think it's all about communication. It's all about how you can communicate with your horse to make it better, right? You were talking about light aids, about body control. I mean, it's not controlling with strength, it's about communication.
How more your horse understands you as a rider, how more light you can give also the helps, you know what I mean? Like if you want to come back in the rhythm, you can do it also with your seat and bring your upper body a bit back instead of pulling on the mount, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Those little things. Yeah, but the horse needs to understand, you know what I mean? And that asks a lot of time and yeah, focus. That's how
if you are on a hurry, this is not going to work.
And it starts already when you, for example, when you hand walk a horse. If the horse likes you as a person, he will just follow you, and you don't have to pull him to the left or pull him to the right. You know what I mean? It's just about yeah, being one with your horse and yeah, but that's not something that goes automatically. It takes
time.
Yeah, how more yeah, how more you understand each other, how less you have to give them the strong helps, you know what I mean? It's like yeah.
And as you said, it's not about you are going to be the best team with every horse, because
No.
some horses work super in a super way with some riders and then change. I mean, there's something chemical, you know, it's something about energy there too that has to fit.
And that's also the good thing in our sport. I mean, rich people can buy good horses, can buy places on shows, but the results you cannot buy. You know, the communication with your horse you cannot buy, and that's the nicest thing about riding, I find.
Amazing. So thank you very much, Michael. I'm very happy you were here. This is great to have you. I'm so grateful, and also congratulations for all the results, and the best luck for you and the team for the Olympic Games next year.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Excelente, de verdad, qué bonita entrevista, qué padre poder conocer todo lo que se tiene que llevar a cabo, todo lo que se tiene que realizar tras bambalinas, la preparación, todo lo que nos estamos esforzando todos los días para que los caballos estén bien. La verdad, me encantó ver que, en conclusión, no importa lo que estés haciendo con tu caballo, de verdad, hay que cuidarlos como individuos, hay que entrenarlos, hay que llevarlos al corral. Ojalá esta idea del corral sea algo con lo que ustedes se queden, porque fue repetido una y otra vez por los ajustadores de equipo, por los entrenadores, por los jinetes. O sea, no hubo, creo yo, alguien que no lo mencionara, porque realmente es muy importante. Creo que vivimos en un mundo en el que pareciera que el caballo está muy feliz encerrado, y de repente cuando nos cae el 20 es así de, pues sí, ¿verdad? No quiere estar encerrado todo el día. y hay que tomarlo en cuenta para que realmente el caballo pueda estar en bienestar, para que no se encuentre solo, ¿no? Aislado. Y por supuesto, algo que también se repite y que quiero remarcar aquí es la alimentación, los cuidados, el manejo, viendo las características, las necesidades de cada uno en la alimentación, en el entrenamiento, qué necesita cada uno, ¿no? Amigos de salto, olvidémonos de verdad de estar todo el tiempo saltando a nuestros caballos. Yo no conozco un atleta, por ejemplo, clavadistas, que todo el día se estén tirando el trampolín. O sea, se preparan como atletas, se van al gimnasio, se fortalecen, se preparan en gimnasios especiales para poder generar las piruetas, lo que están haciendo. O sea, no todo es el agua para ellos. Entonces, tampoco todo debe de ser el salto para la gente de salto, para los caballos de salto. Así que, bueno, pues sí, hay muchísimo que aprender, hay muchísimo que debemos ejecutar en todo esto y que sí tenemos que hacer algo para que podamos tener caballos mucho más entrenados, en mucho mejor estado físico, sin duda alguna, en mucho mejor estado mental, en mucho mejor estado anímico. Y se van a dar cuenta de que eso nos ayuda a que nuestros caballos también sean mucho más funcionales, ¿no? Y crear una rutina. Los caballos, esto me gustó mucho verlo también con él, los caballos son animales de costumbres. Entonces, si todo lo cambiamos, si todos los días le cambio la comida o le cambio el caberango, le cambio el entrenamiento, ojo, son factores de estrés para ellos. Así que es de suma importancia que tengan una rutina, que tengan variedad en el trabajo, ahí sí, sin duda alguna, pero que el caballo pueda generar una seguridad en su vida diaria. ¿Sale? Entonces, de verdad, me encanta esta entrevista. Y chicos, pues sí, se nos está acabando el tiempo. Muchísimas gracias. Espero lo hayan pasado muy bien. Aquí veo comentarios. Muchísimas gracias, Carol, por tus comentarios. Gracias, Giver, por tus comentarios. Isa, Waldo, qué bueno que la están pasando bien. Es necesario romper estereotipos. Sí, claro que sí. Gracias a ustedes. Me encanta, la verdad, tenerlos aquí. Me encanta, la verdad, que podamos estar compartiendo. Gracias. Ay, qué lindos. Ya se dejaron venir los comentarios y los agradecimientos. De verdad, se los agradezco muchísimo porque primero que nada, la verdad es que sin ustedes este evento no se hubiera podido dar. Así que me encanta ver gente que está interesada en el bienestar de su caballo y honestamente creo que cada vez es más lo que podemos hacer por ellos. Gracias, Victoria. Gracias, Patricio. Ecuestre la quinta. Claro, nos vemos pronto. Samir, gracias a ustedes también. Cristian, Brenda, Sara, Claudia, sí, de verdad que sí, hay que seguir pensando por ellos, por nuestros caballos, inolvidable, la verdad que sí, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí, para nosotros ha sido importantísimo y la verdad es que quiero darle las gracias sin duda alguna a Wilfred Moore por habernos hecho esto realidad, por todo el apoyo de la embajada y por supuesto a Eric Plaisir que hizo realidad que pudiéramos llevar a cabo este evento. Todos ellos son de la Embajada de los Países Bajos. Benjamin Leal, por supuesto, muchísimas gracias por todo tu apoyo, por el trabajo arduo que hemos venido realizando para poder lograr esta Semana Ecuestre. Y por supuesto, no quiero dejar atrás a mi equipo. Muchísimas gracias a Erika Garza por todo. Ven, ya que estás aquí, para que conozcan a mi socia en el crimen, en lo que estamos haciendo. Muchísimas gracias, de verdad, porque sin ella no hubiéramos podido lograr todo esto que estamos haciendo el día de hoy. Y de verdad, gracias por todo el esfuerzo, por todas las desveladas, por todas las carreras. Muchísimas gracias. Y tenemos mucho equipo más que, a ver, Anatere, ven para acá también, que fue parte de nuestro apoyo. Vamos a hacer esto así, miren, para que quepamos un poco más. Sí, la parte de subtitulaje, la parte de... Claro que sí, de edición. Gracias a todos los que están aquí acompañándonos. Gracias por esos aplausos. Claro que sí, qué lindos todos, la verdad. Gracias porque sí, hemos trabajado mucho. Esta es la pequeña parte de mi equipo que está aquí el día de hoy. Tenemos muchos más, que nos han estado apoyando y que sin duda alguna, como les digo, han hecho que esto sea posible. Y de verdad quiero darles las gracias por estarnos acompañando en todo este recorrido. Ha sido verdaderamente increíble para mí, ha sido toda una experiencia. La he disfrutado desde el día uno que surgió la idea y que dije, esto es lo que nosotros necesitamos en México, y empezamos a trabajarlo. Ha sido increíble, ha sido meses, así que pues yo feliz de verlos contentos a ustedes. Una vez más, quiero agradecer, por supuesto, el apoyo que nos han dado en redes, que nos estén siguiendo y todos los comentarios que han hecho de la Semana Ecuestre. ¡Wow! ¡Qué increíble! De verdad, ha sido un súper evento. ¡Wow! Yo también digo eso. Gracias por sus aplausos. A seguir generando acciones para el actor principal, que es el caballo. Sin duda alguna, fue útil no solo para México, sino para nuestro continente. 100% de acuerdo. Como dije, muchísimos países acompañándonos, muchísimos países siguiéndonos, y eso me llena de orgullo, me llena de emoción que estemos comenzando a crecer y en busca de este cambio. Así que, chicos, muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos y hasta la próxima.